Tom Harper never wanted to be anybody's problem. After 37 years fixing pipes and keeping state buildings running like clockwork, he'd mastered the art of being in VY Sybil Quiet, efficient, the guy you forgot was there until something broke. When he retired, all he wanted was peace. No neighborhood meetings, no chit-chat at the mailbox, just him, his house, and the steady hum of water flowing through the copper pipes his dad laid down decades ago. His little patch of land sat on the edge of a sleepy suburb that had started to fancy itself upscale, with new folks rolling in, their shiny SUVs parked next to color-coded trash cans. They brought in VY Sybil fences of control HOA rules, landscaping committees, the works. Tom didn't care. His property was his deed and all, tied to a deep well his old man drilled in 78, 30 feet deeper than anything modern. His dad didn't trust city water, and neither did Tom. That well was his lifeline. He checked the pressure weekly, cleaned the filters twice a month, flushed the lines every quarter. No fancy apps or Wi-Fi gadgets, just brass gauges, sturdy pipes, and a guy who knew their rhythm better than his own heartbeat. So when his kitchen faucet started coughing up air one morning, Tom knew something was off. He grabbed his toolbox and headed to the pump house, expecting a clogged valve or a leaky joint. The gauges looked fine, the tank levels normal. But then he saw it. The water meter by the crawl space wasn't his. His old, rusted Model 420 was gone, swapped for a slick plastic unit with a barcode and MSDW3 stamped on it. Tom knelt, heart ticking faster. This wasn't a mistake. Someone had come onto his land, shut off his main, and installed this tamper-proof, remote-reading thing without his say-so. No utility company had rights here. He'd never signed off on anything. The new meter was too clean, the sealant still sticky. This was recent, professional, and deliberate. Tom's gut twisted not from anger, but from the cold realization that someone had targeted him. He checked the pressure again, lower than it should be, just enough to make a faucet sputter. A slow siphon. He traced the pipe to the back of his lot, where the ground dipped toward his neighbor's yard. That neighbor was Lisa Bennett, who'd moved in 3 years ago after buying out a family nursery. Lisa didn't knock, she announced. She didn't ask, she demanded. Her flyers about noise hours and her clipboard patrols screamed control. To her, Tom was a dinosaur, a stubborn holdout who didn't pay into her Clean Street Fund or show up to her meetings. She'd never said it outright, but her smiles carried a threat. Get in line, or else. Tom had ignored her, but Lisa had made Calsto zoning, to code enforcement, to the water board. They found nothing, but they learned about his private well, unmonitored and self-run. So when Tom found a fresh pipe snaking from his line under the fence to Lisa's mulch bed, it clicked. She'd tapped his well to feed her new irrigation tank, the one she'd bragged about in her newsletter for drought sustainability. It wasn't hooked to the city supply, it was stealing his pressure. Standing there, staring at the hidden PVC, Tom didn't get mad. He got focused. Lisa had crossed the line, banking on him being too old or too slow to notice. She'd miscalculated. He didn't call the cops or bang on her door. Instead, he poured coffee, opened his maintenance notebook, and sketched a plan. Unauthorized tap countermeasures. If Lisa wanted his water, he'd make sure she regretted it. That night, he swapped his auto valve for a manual bypass, logging every drop that left his well. He dug out an old flow reader from his lockbox, a clunky 90s relic, and hooked it up. No faucets were on, no appliances running, yet the meter ticked. A slow, steady draw. Proof. Tom watched Lisa's yard for 3 nights. Her sprinklers hummed after dark, pulling water she had no right to. He could have shut her off, but that was too easy. He wanted her to feel the consequences. So he installed a one-way valve with a delayed circuit, a simple GRA VY tie trick. When her system kicked on, it wouldn't get his water, it would drain her own tank, funneling it back through a hidden trench his dad had dug years ago. She'd blame the weather or a bad pump, but the truth would point to her own garden. Lisa's BHA VY or shifted fast. Her waves turned to glares. She walked her dog past his house at odd hours, Leah VYing notes about lawn standards on his gate. Then came a letter from a community standards committee she ran, citing him for non-compliant water use. Tom didn't bite. He hand-delivered a manila envelope to her door. State water rights, his well certification, no words exchanged. Her face flushed like she'd been slapped. The next day, her contractor showed up, digging near the fence. Tom watched from his porch. They weren't fixing, they were doubling down, laying new pipes to tap his line again. He called an old hydrologist buddy, Sam Tressler, for a site Rewired. Sam's report confirmed non-standard flow across properties. Tom sent it to the county, no names attached. 2 days later, Lisa got a notice. That night, someone slipped into Tom's yard and stole his reverse flow box. But Tom had planned for that. The real VYC was buried deep. The stolen one was a decoy. He wrote in his notebook, "Let's keep going." Lisa went public, spreading lies about Tom's unsafe, painting him as the VY lane. Neighbors stopped while VYing. Then a dead patch appeared on his lawn. Chemical burn. Herbicide poured at night. Tom caught a masked kid on his new infrared camera, bottle in hand. He didn't confront Lisa. He filed an insurance claim and let the law creep closer. Lisa's yard started browning, her sprinklers failing without his water. She hosted a community party while VYing eco certificates, but fewer showed up. The county inspector came, saw Tom's clean system, and left with a thicker clipboard after VY citing Lisa's side. The cease and desist order hit soon after. Unauthorized extraction, penalties pending. Tom's rights were reaffirmed. Lisa's facade cracked. But she didn't quit. She tried mediation, framing it as a neighborly talk. Tom brought one photo, the kid with the herbicide. Lisa froze but deflected, claiming it wasn't admissible. Tom walked out, Leah VYing the photo behind. That night, his outflow valve was sabotaged crudely, desperately. He fixed it, upgraded to steel pipes, and activated an emergency bypass to vent any tampering harmlessly downhill. Lisa's moves were running dry. Then, one morning, she was gone. No sign, no movers, just an empty house. The neighborhood exhaled. New folks moved in, quiet types who planted herbs and waved without agenda. Tom kept his system locked tight, not out of fear but principle. He added a plaque to his control panel. Duty is not permission. It is earned. The pipes hummed, the gauges held steady, and the air felt clean again. So what do you think? Was Tom a hero for standing his ground? Or did he go too far with his silent war? Should he have confronted Lisa directly? Or was his quiet strategy the only way to win? Could the neighbors have stopped this sooner? Or were they just pawns in Lisa's game? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this got your blood pumping. And subscribe for more stories that make you question where the line is drawn.